Thank you, Kaylee. I'm Mark Friedenberg. I am the program coordinator in the for the IST major. And hey, Michael, I know a third of the group already. Maybe it's about to go down to 25%. Given the time that we have, I'm just going to speak very briefly about the options within the IST major. And then I'll invite Andrew to talk about his experiences, and then hopefully we'll have some time for questions. So I think good questions to ask yourself to see if you think the IST major is right for you are: first, do you like to work in teams to solve problems? Do you like to keep up to date with emerging technologies? Do you want to further develop your communication skills, both written and verbal? Do you ever see, I can't imagine this would ever be the case, you see something out there in the world, some bad process, something that seems inefficient, outdated, or obsolete, and thought I can brainstorm new ways to solve this problem or to fix the issue. And then do you want to get a foundational understanding of technology, which you can then use to help organizations, large or small businesses, nonprofits, universities, NGOs, address their problems and their inefficient processes and address opportunities that they may have as well. So some of the skills that you'll come out of the IST program with are certainly technical skills, as you would imagine, business skills, project management skills, collaborating with groups, either physically and or at a distance, problem solving, and communication. So in IST classes, many of them are problem-based learning driven. They require class projects, often in groups, that may require you to research users of technology and document their needs, maybe by conducting interviews with folks at some of the employers that recruit so often from the College of IST, Johnson & Johnson, EY, Geico, and the others listed here. Looking through the the process of documenting a project, determining based on those interviews that you've conducted, what are the requirements that users have, how does a process work, what currently happens, and how can we create a technology or perhaps replace the technology to make sure we capture all of the needs of that process. How can we identify where the risks are in this project and identify, where might be a pothole that we could run across? Then you'll have the opportunity to brainstorm technical solutions and try to prototype solutions. In a class that I taught last semester, this was an entrepreneurship class. Students were working on, they had all very different projects. There was a smart ski pole. There was a customized light up backpack for people who go to music festivals. Again, not perfect timing on that one, but it involved talking to users, potential customers, showing them prototypes, getting feedback from them, and iterating through that and developing either hardware or software prototypes. That was really fun, and the groups did really great work. In a more formal sense, documenting the architecture for a system, where's the database, how is the network set up, where are files stored, how do we handle payment processes, how do we document our database, and so forth. Design, developing, testing, documenting all of those parts of system architecture is part of the IST program. And then certainly not least, going through and trying to answer how we're going to pay for this, using project management tools, using collaboration and communication tools like Trello and Slack and Microsoft Teams and Zoom and all of the other tools that we're becoming so comfortable with now, to be able to work together, but then also to be able to justify why it is that we ought to spend money on Project X. What is the return that we're going to get on the investment, and arguing persuasively for why we should select your approach versus a different approach. Those are all parts of IST as well. Currently, we have two options in the IST major. Both are in various states of transition. The application and integration option on the left side of the slide is in the process of becoming a new program, enterprise technology integration. But under either label, it's really focused on understanding the needs of some organization and how we can create new applications that, again, goes through the process of getting requirements from the users, designing a solution, developing it, testing it, implementing it, and so forth. A few possible jobs are IT consultant, IT project manager, and IT analyst. And in a moment, when I invite Andrew to introduce himself, I'll ask him to tell us about some of the work that he did as an analyst this past summer for his internship. On the right, the people, organizations, and society option, we're working on, and this was the option or degree that I pursued myself as an undergraduate here at Penn State. We're in the process of making a new socially responsible computing degree, and that is really looking at policy around technology, understanding how technology can contribute to inequality or hopefully combat inequality, how it can be used to hopefully fight bias, or how sometimes it can be used to reinforce biases that people have. Its impact on the environment, legal issues, antitrust issues. There was just a major antitrust complaint the Department of Justice filed against Google relating to some of their activity. Those kinds of issues are what the people, organization, and society option is all about. And folks who are interested in those types of issues may do what I do, go on to law school, practice as a lawyer, go into ethics research, go work in compliance, or in an analyst, policy analyst position. Within any kind of firm, they all operate in environments where they're regulated if they maintain healthcare data, education data, financial data, to comply with massive new regulations and laws that in California and in the European Union. There may be massive new federal privacy legislation in the United States. So all of those laws create, in a sense, opportunities to create job opportunities, because you need to help an organization make sure that they're complying with those laws in terms of how they collect and use data from customers, among many other areas. I've blathered on plenty. Andrew's a current student. Andrew, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name's Andrew Pacheco, and I'm currently a junior in the College of IST, and I am studying the application and integration major. So I do have a little bit more experience on that side of the coin when it comes to IST. But this past summer, to give you an example of something that you may be doing as an integration application major, I was able to intern at MetLife, and it was remote, of course. But what we did do was we had the opportunity to create an interface that MetLife call center associates were using in order to redirect calls from incoming callers. So we worked with a real team of developers and a software development team, and we worked on this project for 10 weeks. And my main role as a business systems analyst, and what I've learned and taken from my coursework so far, is I was kind of the bridge between the technical team and the business that needed the problem to be fixed. So I worked between the two groups. I collected information that the business wanted me to relay, and I made sure that the developers understood what we needed to fix, and they made sure to complete the development.
Great, thank you, Andrew. And at this time, I just wanted to see what questions you all have. As the program coordinator, I want to make sure that you have a very clear understanding of what the major entails. If you have, and as an alum also, I think I can speak to a little bit from the student side as well. I think these are great programs, both. I wouldn't be doing this otherwise. I think you have a real chance to have a really positive impact on the world in both. So I'm very excited to see that you all have at least potentially interest in these programs. So any questions that you have, I'd be happy to speak with you.
Hi, I have a question.
Hi, Michael.
How are you?
Okay, the quiz is on Friday. Go ahead.
My question is, so I'm like choosing between integration application and ETI. If like I wanted to stay in integration application, how could I still, I guess, have that upper hand in technical and business skills in the integration application field?
So I'm sorry, is your question just about, not just about, is your question about whether to enter the new degree or to stay in the option?
Basically.
You know, I'm actually not, I'm not as fluent maybe as I should be in the changes that ETI has made. I don't know, Kaylee, are you able to speak to that? Oh, sorry, are you muted? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the ETI changes have a higher level of coding and has the like business meal certificate wrapped up in it as well compared to the integration application
Mhm.
option, which we've discussed.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference between the two majors.
And what was this the second half of your question, Michael? I'm sorry, or you were asking like how,
Yeah.
what was,
I was like talking to Dr. Ocker, and like I know like ETI, because they do like more coding in the ETI major, like IST 256 and 242, whereas like IST integration application, you just have to complete like 240 or 242. Like how could you just take like another, like could you take like IST 256 as an elective and just like have that as like another skill, where if you didn't want to like fully change the major?
I mean, just from my perspective, I think certainly yes. It doesn't have to be part of the requirements for the degree to be a skill that you can develop and then promote about yourself, and hopefully have a portfolio of some of the kinds of projects that you've created as well, or projects that you've worked on, whether it's for the major, technically speaking, or not. I don't think makes a big difference.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Andrew, are you able to just maybe share about a favorite class you had so far?
Sure. So I really like, and Michael, I think this is something that seems like I think we're really similar. I really enjoyed IST 301. It was the information and organizations, and I love understanding how the the technology is used in businesses. And in that class, you learn a lot about the history of enterprises and kind of how they've come to be so efficient and powerful, like Walmart with their RFID tags and real-time tracking, and something so simple that we take for granted. But understanding all of that is really interesting to me. So I think IST 301 has definitely been my favorite class by far.
Thank you, Andrew.